brings CNC precision to your 3D prints, powered by a new kind of machine. Welcome to the channel. So what exactly is this machine, and how does it fit into a print-focused workshop like mine? The short version, the Carvera Air gives me something 3D printing can't. Real metal parts with high precision cuts and the ability to bring hybrid ideas to life. All on a machine that can fit on your bench. Before I get into the builds, let's take a quick look at the machine itself, because understanding how it works helps explain what makes these hybrid projects possible. And full disclosure, Makera did send me the Carvera Air to test out, but as always, the projects, the results, and my opinions are entirely my own. Let's take a look under the hood and see what makes this machine tick. The machine comes with a toolkit that has hold-down clamps and fasteners, an assortment of bits, and tools for preparing other bits. There's also an accessory pack that comes with extra bits, mounting brackets, laser and manual probes, and other odds and ends. And also a material pack that comes fully stocked with everything you need to run the test files and a little bit extra. As for the machine, underneath the enclosure is a die-cast aluminum frame, stainless steel shell, and precision ball screws on every axis. It's real machine hardware, scaled down for a garage or a maker bench. The closed-loop brushless spindle runs up to 13,000 RPM, and that's plenty for aluminum, brass, wood, plastics, carbon fiber sheets, the exact kind of materials I've been wanting to work with. The cutting area is 300 by 200 millimeters with 130 millimeters of Z height. Not huge, but the sweet spot for functional parts, mechanisms, and multi-material projects. Swapping bits is handled by a quick change system. Pull down the lever, insert your bit, raise the lever back up. Done in seconds, no tools required. Probing and calibration is handled with a wired Z-probe, which inserts into the machine like any other bit. Before cutting, it automatically measures the height of the stock, either at one point if the surface is known to be flat, or across multiple points using auto leveling if the surface is irregular. This creates a surface map of the workpiece that ensures a constant depth across the entire part, even if it's an uneven material. Work holding is handled by an anchoring system and clamps. There are simple flat bars to hold material down and side clamps to push your material up against the fence. The enclosure keeps dust and chips contained within the machine, but there's also a dust shoe with a port on the side for a vacuum that can be attached. This can also be removed if the air assist is to be used instead. The Carvera Air is controlled with the Carvera controller app, which runs on Windows, Mac, and tablets. You can link to the machine directly by using USB-C or connect wirelessly to the machine's built-in Wi-Fi hotspot. Or you can add the machine to your local Wi-Fi network and connect that way. Once connected, you have the controls to manually move the machine and load G-code files. The files are uploaded directly into the machine's internal storage through the app. That way, even if the computer disconnects or Wi-Fi drops during the cut, the machine will keep running with no interruptions. I was also sent the laser engraving module. For lots of makers, this can open up even more creative options. I was also sent the 4th axis module that lets you cut stock in 3 dimensions. Not only machining round objects, but working on multiple sides of a piece. This really opens up a lot of creative doors when you pair this with 3D printing. Where I'm most excited is having a machine this compact that can reliably mill metal, and with the 4th axis, add the ability to mill round or multi-sided parts. That's where the Carvera Air will really fit into my workflow. Bottom line, this is a compact, fully capable CNC platform built for makers who want real precision in a small package. If you're enjoying the breakdown so far, hit that like button or drop a comment below. It lets me know what resonates with my audience, and it really helps the video reach more makers. Now, before jumping into my own projects, I wanted to run a couple of the included test files that comes with the Carvera Air, both to get familiar with the workflow and to show what the machine can do right out of the box. The first was a 3-axis relief project cut from epoxy tooling board provided in the material kit. Setup starts by clamping the stock to the bed using the built-in anchoring system. Once secure, I loaded the wire probe into the tool holder. The machine traced the perimeter of the design, then automatically probed the surface to calculate the material height. With calibration complete, the machine prompts me to swap in the first cutting tool. Once the bit is loaded, I hit the button on top of the machine to confirm that the machine is ready, and the roughing pass begins. The machine is relatively quiet while running. I'd say it's about as loud as a 3D printer that isn't enclosed. After the roughing pass, the machine pauses and prompts for a tool change for the finishing pass. The lights on the machine flash to tell you to insert bit 2. Again, it's a simple bit swap and button press to resume cutting. I decided to attach the dust shoe to contain the chips this time, even though I don't have a vacuum hooked up. Once the finishing pass is done, the original bit is swapped back in to cut the part out. The result is a clean, detailed relief, and the process gave me a good idea for what to expect when running jobs. Next up was a 4th axis example. A rotary relief carving using the rotary module. The stock mounts between the chuck and the tailstock. It's recommended you drill a small hole first on the tailstock end to make it easier for it to seat into the material. The probing process is a bit different. The probe measures the height of the module at a predefined location and then traces the center line down the material. Like before, the job runs in 2 stages, a roughing pass and then a finishing pass, rotating the part as it cuts. Seeing this level of rotary carving on a desktop CNC is pretty exciting, and it gives me a lot of ideas for future projects. Just like the other relief carving, this ran cleanly, giving a great surface finish, and preparing me to jump into the real test, cutting aluminum for a hybrid project. With the test cuts complete, it was time for a real project, something that takes advantage of both 3D printing and CNC milling. And I found this book-style box design that has this skull medallion embedded in the cover. The model comes from Clockspring, a well-known designer of clever support-free prints that snap together right off the printer. The files were already separated into individual parts, which made it easy to isolate the skull medallion and prep it for the CNC. I brought the skull mesh directly into Makera Cam to generate the tool paths for aluminum, then exported the G-code and loaded it into the machine using the Carvera controller software. For the project, I'm using a 1/2-inch plate of 6061 aluminum, and after the stock was secure, the roughing pass went smoothly. I attached an aquarium pump that I use for my laser machine's air assist, and it worked great, which made me happy so I don't have to look into finding a quiet air compressor. Partway through the finishing pass, I noticed something was off. Sure enough, when it finished, I found the fine tip bit had dulled to the point where it wasn't contacting the surface anymore. I assume maybe the roughing pass left too much material for the fine bit to handle, so I ran an extra pass with a ball nose bit to clear off more material. The ball nose bit worked well, but after running another finishing pass, it had the same issue. That's when I realized what was happening. The small recessed holes around the medallion were too narrow for the roughing or ball nose bit to clear, so when the fine bit dropped into them, it was driven too fast and too deep, dulling the bit after just a few holes. I'm sure I could have solved this with a better toolpath strategy, but I just drilled out the holes manually and then gave it another shot, and then the final pass worked. You'll notice one side of the medallion looks much cleaner than the other. I'm guessing some misalignment creeped into the process. I had to reprobe the bed, power the machine on and off, and do a lot of changes between setups, so I'm not surprised a fraction of a millimeter offset creeped in. I'm chalking this up to a user error and a valuable learning moment. One side looks great right off the machine, the other is going to need a little bit of cleanup with a rotary tool. Once I smoothed everything out, I gave the aluminum a quick polish with some buffing compound to get a brighter, more finished look. Adding the medallion really elevates the 3D printed model. You get the weight and presence of real metal paired with the flexibility of 3D printing. And that's exactly what makes hybrid prints like this so satisfying. So what are my thoughts on the Carvera Air? First, I want to say that if you made it this far in the video, you're awesome. I really appreciate people taking the time to watch my projects. Let me know what you think about the machine, or if you have some ideas on what projects I can use with it. Start your comment with CNC so I know you made it this far. As for the machine, after running the test files, cutting some aluminum, and building a hybrid project, this is exactly the kind of machine I've been looking to add to my shop. The precision, the ability to cut metals, the compact size, and the ease of use check all the boxes. A big part of my workflows is just having tools that work as intended. If I'm spending time fiddling with the machines to make it work properly, or have to babysit it because I don't trust the output, then that's time I'm not spending on the project itself. I chose to use the Carvera software to generate the G-code, and I'd say it was fine to use. It had a simple layout with a lot of preset settings, which is great if you're new to CNC work. The Carvera Air also has profiles for Fusion 360, which automatically sets up your projects to work with the machine, which I'll probably use in the future as I'm working in Fusion anyway. The fully automated probing, easy tool changing, built-in rotary access, it's all designed to make entering into CNC work much less intimidating, and I'd say it delivers on that. If you've been 3D printing for a while and want to start exploring metalwork or integrating metal into your prints, or making functional parts or multi-material parts, this machine absolutely earns a closer look. And honestly, this build just scratches the surface of what's possible. I've already got a few other hybrid projects lined up, so if you want to see what's coming up next, make sure you subscribe. I've been planning to create a series printing a RC car, either a large-scale buggy or something to see how fast I can get it going. In both cases, I expect a lot of big crashes, and being able to mill components out of metal, that should really help the car survive. Also, if you're a subscriber to the channel, it would be interesting to see other projects outside of 3D printing, let me know in the comments below, because I do quite a bit more than just 3D printing. If this hybrid CNC printing project was interesting, check out this video here, where I used a CNC to build a supersized space Lego buggy for my supersized space Lego man I printed. Thanks for watching.